Alright. Let's get back to it. Back to Yugiri and start the next one. A singular gift. Yugiri's stern expression suggests she has no good news to share. Regrettably, there have been no sightings of the Blasphemy since our first encounter at Shoals Rock. As Tensui surmised, it seems to fear confrontation. We, for our part, have tried to make good use of this intervening calm. Even now, Lord Hien and Gosetsu discuss how we might prevent other villages from turning. If you would wait here a moment, he would no doubt wish to hear your thoughts on the matter. Okay. Brilliant! So glad you could come. As Yugiri no doubt explained, the blasphemy continues to elude us, and so we have turned our attention to other matters we can and should address. After long discussions and much deliberation, we believe we have found a means to allay the growing malice of our people. If you would, Gosetsu. The idea came to us after considering young Tobro's remarks about his father, whose body is never found and returned to Doma. Others, no doubt, share in his melancholy, unable to bury and mourn their loved ones as it is their right. Put simply, they cannot make peace with their loss. Their anguish, if left to linger, might consume them as well. That we might provide the people of Doma with comfort and closure, we will hold a national funeral at Swallow's Compass. That's not a bad idea. Those who choose to attend will be asked to present personal effects of the deceased they wish to be enshrined there. Oh, this is similar to what we did in Alamigo, except it was also for, we chose to hold the funeral for not only the Alamegans, but also the Garleans? I don't think it was for the Garleans. I think it was for the Alamegans and the Black Skulls and the people that sided with Garlemald, or something like that. Spirits reside in all things, being they living or inanimate, and though we can die, a part of us lives on in the items we cherish the most in life. Therefore, in lieu of remains, these belongings will be afforded a place in the royal mausoleum, that the spirits of those lost to us may find their way home to Doma and at last know peace. The announcements have already been made, and a great many people are now engaged in the difficult task of deciding which keepsake will serve as their offering. If the announcements were already made, how did we not know about it? Anyway. 'Tis not a decision to be made lightly, but I suspect they will have made up their minds by the time we go to collect their chosen tokens. I also hope to learn more about the departed from those willing to speak with me, for my benefit and theirs. To break free of their sorrow, they must seek joy in the memories and the love they shared with their departed, and I will help them find it. Might the Liberator of Doma be willing to favor the people with their presence as well? Well, if I want to do this quest, I better. I doubt not that many will appreciate the gesture. Good. Yugiri, I'll leave the people of Isari to you. Gosetsu, might I ask you to... Apologies, my lord, but there is a small but most urgent matter I must first attend to. Okay. Oh, is he gonna get something for Suyu? That'd be interesting. Very well, I shall not pry. Now, Brilliant, let us go and pay a visit to the good people of Namai. Didn't he have a daughter and a wife or something? Not a daughter, he had like a son, a family. Anyway, let's head on over to Asari, right? Oh no, Namai, okay. Let's save a tiny bit of gil and leave for the Aetheryte. Oh, right, Ian. I don't know how many people will speak to you, but let's try anyway. Right then. Before we begin, I would remind you that you need only listen to the tales of their loved ones. As overseer of the ceremony, I see it as my duty to deliver their effects personally. Because of this, it is the utmost importance that we keep clear of any beasts that might damage our cargo. It goes without saying how important it is that their offerings are delivered in pristine condition, and I will do no good to you in a fight while heavily encumbered. Well, yeah. If stealth or flight are not options, I must ask that you fight for us both. But we needn't worry unless the occasion arises. For now, let us be off. Okay. Ian's accompanying you. I prefer you, Geary, but I guess this is okay. I don't really care for Captain Chinstrap that much. I mean, he's a great leader, but not really what I'm looking for. My husband, my dear sweet Moroya, never returned from Garlemald, but perhaps now his soul might know peace. Please, take this painting brush to Swallow's compass. I shall handle it with utmost care. Might we trouble you to tell us more about your husband? Moroya was a kind and gentle soul. There was nothing he loved more in the world than to create. That brush never left his side, not even when he tended the fields. Any spare moment was dedicated to his craft. He produced the most wonderful vistas of Vientia. It was his dream to take us to Kagane, where he would become famous artist, until he was conscripted. In the early days, he would send drawings of the places they took him, though I know not how. But more time began to pass between each arrival, and then they stopped coming altogether. I know not what far-flung land he died, but I pray it was as beautiful as his works. He sounds like quite a man, to hold fast to his art even when forced to endure such hardships. His soul will find peace, of that I have no doubt. Alright, let's check out the next one. Grieving Elder. I must thank you again, Lord Hien, for this honor. My son would have been overjoyed to know that his katana would be enshrined at the Swallow's compass. Nay, the honor is mine. I'm sure your son was a fine warrior. Aye, and so was I, once upon a time. A samurai, as it happens, in service to your father when the Empire first invaded our lands. Though we were defeated, our spirits broken, my son Motosue, has never one to lose hope. He was determined to follow in my footsteps, gave his everything to honing his skill with the blade. When I watched him train, I felt the pride I thought I'd forsaken dwell in my breast, and I knew he would restore our family to its former glory. Alas, he could have fled, perhaps started a life anew as a vagabond of some sort, but he bore the burden and fought for Garlemald, for fear of what the Imperials might do if he did not. 'Tis plain he was a loving son and a warrior true. I will care for his blade as if it were mine own. See it given the honor and respect due a samurai of Doma. Alright, let's check this last one. Where are you? There you are. Ah, Tombo. That's right, we gotta get something for his father. I realize it's quite large, but I wanted to offer This on behalf of my brother and our father, Suzushiro. It's an urn. If you are willing, I would very much like to hear more about them both. My father, he was a carpenter. That's why he made urns? He was a good man, if a bit stubborn, always thinking about his work. The only time he ever seemed to enjoy himself was when he had a cup of sake in his hand, of course. It's all about the booze. When my brother came of age, he took up the trade as well. It brought them closer. I'd see them laughing over drinks together, or listening in silence to the crickets singing under the moonlight. I wanted to join them one day. This was their favorite sake. You're gonna make me carry a huge giant urn of liquid? You realize how heavy that is? I thought they might miss it. I'm sure it will taste all the sweeter having come from you. I realize no one can ever replace your brother or father, but if you will allow, I would be honored to share drinks with you in their stead, when you are of age, of course. Now what, we're gonna have to carry this thing? This should be everything. Would you join me for a short reprieve before our journey back? Ian, I don't know how you're gonna carry that. Then again, we do have our bag of what was the term they used? In Merlimentorum, they made a gag about that. About how our ambiguously sized inventory or whatever. Anyway, let's head on over to this. Talk with Ian once more. There you are. They put on brave faces, but the people of Nabai are still racked with grief. It is the same at every village I've visited in the recent days, but it is only now that I am struck by the contradictory nature of my goals. Having joined the Eastern Alliance and taken steps to revitalize the Enclave, I believed Domo was at last on a path to peace and prosperity. I still do. Yet by focusing so keenly on the future, I have neglected the past that yet haunts my people. Even if they do not give in to despair and become beasts that plague our land, like poor Tombo's brother, how are we to truly move forward if we are constantly looking back? You speak of their haunted pasts, Lord Tian, but what of ours? What of yours? Is there not someone for whom you yourself still grieve? Uh-huh. Like his father. Me? All things considered, I suppose it was only a matter of time before the subject was broached. Ha! She cuts at your heart of the matter, and the young lord, for the best, I should think, for he cannot lead by example if he has yet not become peace with his own past. I assume this is Gosetsu. Oh yeah. 1,000 apologies, my lord. I was passing through, tending to matters of which I spoke earlier, when I chanced to hear a familiar voice in the distance. If I may be so bold, the people of Doma, one and all, understand the source of your pain. To lose your father in the turmoil of a failed rebellion, his staggering duty to the throne thrust upon you. How could you even begin to mourn when first you had to lead? It would behoove you to take part in the funeral rites, my lord. Take this time to make peace with your past, while it is still yours to spend. Though unlikely, if not impossible, were you to become a monster as well, Toma would surely be lost. True, very unlikely, but... I thank you for your counsel, Gosetsu. But if I may ask, why is it you keep your blade at the ready? I thought this personal matter of yours be naught but a trifle. Or am I mistaken? Yeah, he didn't have his blade earlier. Now he does. Well, I find the katana a superior tool for healing purposes. Gosetsu, please. Speaking of which, I do believe my stomach begs for sustenance. If you'll excuse me, Gosetsu, since when are you someone who cares, or listens to their stomach? Wasn't the first cutscene we saw you in you collapsing from hunger? Training to help slay the blasphemy, no doubt. Fitting that he should offer my counsel, yet refuse to heed it in kind. He is not the warrior he once was, but he is wise, our obstinate friend. Well, that's a good way of describing it. If I am to be perfectly honest, it frightens me to recall it, the moment it all came crashing down. We'd taken Gondoman Castle. Victory was ours. But then we looked out and saw the banners of the 12th Legion marching towards us. The crowned prince at the fore. Uh-oh. No sooner had Gosetsu and I escaped when we received word that Xenos had slain my father. I remember how the fight went out of Gosetsu in an instant. How he wept for his lord, while I felt the weight of profound duty bear down upon my shoulders, crushing, suffocating. The heart of my own breath, the chill of my clammy palms. But duty demanded I master my emotions. When all those around me, Gosetsu included, were consumed by anger and thirst for vengeance, I had to be in control. Under my orders, we dispersed and fled to fight another day. Yeah, that's the thing with leadership. You are the person that people look to for support. But then who do you look for when you're the one that needs the support? To this day, I've not stopped to reflect on my father's death. How could I, devoted as I am to finding Doma's way forward? By the way, this is supposed to be like 10 or 20 years ago. But now I must, and so, having taken you into my confidence, would you see this through with me to Journey's End? Sure. If it means completing the quest. The keepsake I would offer up at the funeral is hidden in a place not easily reached. We will have to fly there, I'm afraid. But not to worry, my Gyul will ferry us. Just a moment. Bro, I got flying here. You don't need to call your bird. They didn't have whistling technology. Alright, Hien, let's fly on wherever we need to go. The place we seek is Plum Spring, in the mountains. Shall we? Sure, let's go. So where's Plum Spring exactly? Up here? No. Oh, down here? Oh, okay, yeah. I've never actually been over here. I don't think there's literally anything that I needed over here. Yeah, you gotta go all the way up to the top. Wonder if that was there before Endwalker. Probably. Maybe there was a sightseeing point there? I don't know. No, I think I have been over here once for some reason, but I don't know what it was for. Maybe it was for like a fishing thing or something. And we are not putting a tree in the mausoleum. My parents would bring me here for a Hanami as a child. Its beauty and serenity was such that I could forget the realities of the occupation. Indeed, some of my fondest memories of my family are here, which is precisely why I chose this place to conceal the singular gift my father bequeathed to me as a child. He only gave you one gift throughout your entire childhood? Ah, okay. It's Goku. I mean, Gohan? No, it wasn't that. I'm thinking of the monkey tail. Anyway. Charming, is it not? The great auspice Kition Dashing, said to reside somewhere along the Daryuk chain. The what chain? In those days, anyone and everyone knew the tales of his prowess. Reckless boy that I was, I once even tried to seek him out, hoping he might help us. I buried it here shortly after my coming-of-age ceremony. It seemed a fitting place to both part with my childhood and offer a final goodbye to my mother. More a keepsake of mine than his, to be sure. He said mother? Whatever. To be sure, but he is never a man of worldly possessions. Still, I suspect he would allow himself a rare smile if he were to see it again after all these years. He must have said father there. I feel like this is a reference to another Final Fantasy game. And this is precisely how I wish to bid him farewell, with a smile. That's nice. Ah, it should go without saying, I would prefer it not to become known that I kept this doll here. Wouldn't want the children to grow jealous now, would we? Huh. And with that, I believe it is time we return to the Enclave. So he's got his monkey doll, the Monkey King or whatever. The two of you were away for quite some time. Is everything alright? Yeah, he was just playing with his dolls. There are yet more villagers to visit and offerings to collect, but preparations are proceeding apace. Soon the people will have one less cause to be tempted down the path of despair. Of course, there still remains the problem of the blasphemy. The former conscripts will remain in Qiankan until it has been dealt with. We will slay the beast in due time, but before that, we would be honored if you were present for the funeral rites. Pray speak with Yugiri when next you visit the Enclave, and she will tell you more of the proceedings. Okay, sounds good to me. You don't need to give me an excuse to talk to Yugiri. I'd be more than happy to.